welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Campfire. I am one of your hosts, Stephen the Indian, alongside Will the Cowboy. We're a cowboy and Indian that talks about ghosts, conspiracy theories, mysteries, all the like. So, if you're interested in content like this, if this is your first time listening, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. Uh, be sure to check us out on X, Instagram, TikTok at Beyond Campfire or at Beyond Campfire Podcast. And yeah, glad to have you here. Will,
hmm
we got a spooky location today. Where
Yeah.
to?
Well, grab your camping gear because we are heading to Romania. Romania.
Romania. And
Um,
yeah, that's next to another pretty interesting place too, right?
yeah. That is next to Transylvania, and if you don't know about Transylvania, that is of course the home place of Dracula. But what a lot of people don't know is that the real life Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, was actually born in Romania.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Vlad the Impaler, that was one bad Mama Jama. So yeah, you do.
Let's see. Yeah, he would kill his victims and then impale them on spikes. And some say
Yeah,
he drank the blood, which is where the vampire legend comes from.
not
But
not surprising that one of the scariest villains in fiction, Dracula, is based off a guy like that. So
but that's not who we're talking about today. We're not talking about Vlad the Impaler or Dracula today or vampires. No, that'll be a future episode. But today we're actually going on a little bit of a camping trip, where hopefully we'll come back because some people have gone on this trip and not come back. We will be in the northern parts of Romania near the city of Cluj Napoca,
what did you say?
where there what
I'm making fun of you. That's going to be on the
yeah.
Will pronouncing thing.
Listen, I don't. It's CLUJ-NAPOCA.
Hey man, your guess is as good as mine.
Cluj Napoca. Um, and in or near that city is the most haunted forest in the whole world.
Oh, the okay. I knew it was a haunted forest, but it is the haunted forest of the world.
Yes. Some say it is actually Romania's very own Bermuda Triangle.
Interesting. I did a little bit of research on it, just out of curiosity, and I did hear that. So, man, Bermuda Triangle is pretty bad. So if this is called Romania's Bermuda Triangle, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and it's not even that big. It's about this forest is about 250 hectares or hectares, which is about 617 acres. Um, so do we dare venture into the Hoia Baciu Forest?
Hey, man, we've theoretically traveled to a lot of dark places. So,
This is definitely one
uh,
that we will be traveling to for the podcast.
there we go. What's the world's most haunted forest, right?
Come on, we got this. Yeah.
Um,
So it's not just like you think. Oh, when I say it's a haunted forest, you're probably like, oh, there's just some ghost in the woods, and that's it, right? Nothing. No, no, no. This place is not just a place of hauntings and paranormal and extraterrestrials. There's a lot that goes on that just it doesn't even look like a normal forest. For one thing, the trees there don't grow in a natural way; they curve,
very interesting.
and every single tree curves the same way, clockwise.
Huh.
So they grow and then go up. So, and here's the thing: scientists literally have no clue why they do this. There's literally nothing that says why the trees are doing this.
See, and if you guys have been watching the show a long time, you guys know I'm the more skeptical of the bunch. But when you even have scientists befuddled of why something's happening, that's something that pikes my curiosity. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. There's another area of the forest we'll get into in just a second. But yeah, so there's the you got the trees acting crazy. At the center of the forest, there's a clearing that they call the dead zone. There's a Romanian word I couldn't find I had the Romanian word in my notes. I couldn't find the Romanian word again, but there is a word for it. But it is basically the dead zone. What's really cool about the dead zone is that basically vegetation refuses to grow there. The trees, if they grow towards it, they will curve away. They don't want to be in the dead zone. It's literally a perfect circle in the middle of the woods, and nobody knows why vegetation won't grow there.
This dead zone kind of sounds like women and my love life.
You said
Anyway,
it, not me. And we actually got a really interesting story later on about the dead zone when we get into kind of the things that go on in these woods. But yeah, like I said, literally nothing will grow there, and scientists have taken soil samples to test the soil, and it's turned up nothing. Like nobody knows exactly why nothing will grow here. There's a couple theories that maybe a meteor crashed there. It could be the site where a UFO might have landed, and that's actually really cool because we'll get into something about UFOs in just a little bit. But also, some people claim that there could be a portal to another dimension or the spirit realm. Who knows? Nobody knows. It's a big mystery. Like this whole forest is just wrapped in a mystery.
yeah, I almost wonder if you can't find anything biological or material of why stuff doesn't grow in that dead zone, then yeah, that's where my mind starts to go. Is something spiritual going on, right? Because as skeptical as I am, I do believe in the spiritual. I do think if you say something spiritual, it needs to be demonstrated. But yeah, I mean, all these atheists that say the world is purely material. I mean, how do you explain something like that, right? So
Yeah. And so now we'll kind of get into some of the encounters people have had in this forest. The forest gets its name, according to legend, from this shepherd. Okay, this shepherd had about 200 sheep, and they went to the woods, and they never came out.
interesting. Is real quick, the whole Hoia Baciu Forest, is that a Romanian word or does that come from somewhere else? Because when you first told me it sounded kind of Asian to me. So I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
a forest in Japan or China or Korea or somewhere.
Um, let's see. I'm trying to see this in my notes. Let's see. Because from the way I understood it was that it's like the name of.
I mean, it's possible that it is just simply Romanian. It just kind of sounds kind of Asian. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
just might
thought,
sound it, but it says the Hoia Baciu Forest is named after a local shepherd, like I said, who disappeared from the forest along with his steward flock and was never seen again. So I
man,
don't know if that was like a Romanian. It's probably a Romanian name.
sure. He sounds it's kind of interesting to name a forest after its first victim per se.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It
I
it
mean,
makes me wonder what the forest was. Did the forest have a name before he disappeared there?
I don't know. I mean, that's because that's the thing is like that's where we kind of get the name from is that there's this local legend. Now, could this be true? We don't know because if it is true, the guy's definitely gone. Nobody has found any of his remains or any of the sheep remains. They've just completely vanished
Oh,
off the face of the earth.
sheesh.
I don't know where they went.
Don't go wandering in the woods alone, kids.
Yeah. Um. So we'll kind of do the disappearances, and then I'll kind of go into what really got everybody's attention with the Hoia Baciu Forest. So the next disappearance we had was, let's see. There's another report of someone going missing, and this one's very, very eerie because there's a report that a little girl was playing near the edge of the woods and she disappeared. They did a search for her, could never find anything, never found her, nothing. You want to guess what happened?
They found her body?
5 years later, she stepped out of the woods wearing the exact same outfit she wore when she disappeared, never aging.
No way. That makes me wonder about the portal stuff you were saying. That is so weird.
Yeah. So she like imagine your child disappears for 5 years, and then you find they come out of the forest 5 years later looking exactly the same they did the day they left.
Yeah, no, that would I'd be happy they're alive, but I'd be like, where were you this whole time?
Yeah, it's kind of like now the next really big, like, not disappearance, but the next, like, this is, so we had these two accounts of these people that disappeared in the forest, right? What
Right.
really gained popularity and really put the the forest on the map and on people's radar was what happened in 1968. So I'm gonna. So a lot of people, this is probably the reason why the dead zone is called the dead zone. Why nothing grows. This kind of goes into the alien theory. Um, I want to set the stage for this. This is 1968. Okay. Do you know who had control of Romania in 1968?
Would it have been the Soviet Union?
Yes.
Okay.
So remember that, because the Soviets they did not like the idea of the supernatural or of extraterrestrials, and very much shut that down as a bunch of bull crap. So mind you,
The commies were atheists, so it
exactly. So put
doesn't.
that in your mind when I tell you the story of Barney, Emile Barney. I think that's how you say it, or Barney. So Emil Barney was a military radio technician. He worked for this. He was obviously a Soviet. Worked in the Red Army. And one day he was out on a hike with his girlfriend and some of their friends. Mind you, they're just going on a hike. Okay, just taking a stroll through the woods, just having a good old time with friends. When his girlfriend, she apparently points and says, "Do y'all see that?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And they look, and floating, they see a silver disc-like object just hovering over the dead zone.
Oh.
Barney had his camera with him and quickly took 2 to 4 photos of this floating object. After that happened, he went and got the photos developed and he reported it to the newspaper. Now, this is where a lot of ufologists look at this report and really give credit to this story. They looked at the negatives that he had put in the newspaper, like the negative straight from his camera, no signs of tampering. As well, again, like I said, he wasn't out there looking for UFOs. They just happened to see one and he took photos. After that had happened, a lot of people try to discredit it, saying there was a weather balloon. Well, some people did some research. There was no weather balloons in the area. Nothing was in the sky that could have made this UFO appear.
Interesting.
Are you ready for the really crazy thing?
Let's hear it, man.
So, obviously, when you're sitting there and I tell you this story, obviously when we talk about this UFO story, you always try to find a reason that this thing's can happen before you jump to the unexplained, right? So as I said, obviously he didn't tamper the negatives, and obviously there was no object in the sky that could have done that. Well, even if we took out the negatives, you ask yourself, well, what would have been his motive to come out and fake a UFO photo and everything? He really had no motive, because after this was put in the paper and everything that he saw a UFO, he lost his job.
Why did he lose his job? I'm curious.
Because, like I said, the Soviets did not give into that bull crap.
Ah, I see.
So they kind of like, he got fired. So because of that, he lost his job, and out of this day we have these photos, and when you look at it and you hear all this, it really makes you wonder what is going on in the Hoia Baciu Forest.
Yeah, I know. At first, like, you got aliens, you got disappearances. Definitely a lot of strange behavior going on in this place.
Exactly. There's a lot going on, and that's not, those are just the accounts we have of 2 disappearances. There might have been more people that have disappeared. Obviously we have this report of a UFO. Other people have reportedly seen UFOs in the area. But what's even scarier is when you're in the forest. People inside the forest have reported paranormal happenings, as I've stated. They've heard voices. They've seen eyes that glow red or green sometimes. There's been apparitions, and sometimes with these apparitions, people will see these apparitions, like face to face, or they won't even know that the apparition's there until, like, let's say me and you take a selfie in the woods, and then we're looking at the photo, and there's a dude standing behind us.
Freaky stuff, man.
People have seen black and white mists that have just appeared out of nowhere just to cover the trail to where you can't see. People have also claimed that as soon as they walk in, people suffer from severe anxiety and feeling like somebody's watching them. Um, Others who have gone into the forest walk out with scratches or bruises, having no idea where those came from. On top of that, people think there might be a cryptid in the woods because there's a park guy, one of the tour guides of this forest. His name's Alex. He has claimed, and so have other people, that they have heard the sound of deer or horse hooves running through the woods, and there's nothing.
This forest has a little bit of everything. It's got the UFOs and aliens. It's got the spirits. It's got the time travel portal. It's got a cryptid. Like, man, I feel like this is
It's
like a
like how we say, like when we say America is like the melting pot of
right.
culture. This is the melting pot of hell.
I know, right?
Um. So yeah, the Hoia Baciu Forest.
We're not sponsored by Mountain Dew Baja Blast yet, but hey, maybe one day we will. Sorry, side note. Anyway, go continue.
Yeah. So that's what I got on the Hoia Baciu Forest. We're gonna get into a ChatGPT story. But like I said, any questions?
So it seems like we know the what. We've seen the UFO stories, the
Mm-hmm.
portal, the cryptid. Do we have any idea of the why? Like, or has the forest just kind of always been this way?
So it seems like before, from what I've read, back in the old days, peasants used to like live in the woods. So this place has had, because like Romania's had a very dark history. I didn't really look much into the history of Romania, but it definitely does not have a pretty past. Um, so there's a lot that has gone down, and like a lot of these things, a lot of like with these stories and stuff. When I was doing like the research, a lot of people talk about the girl disappearing and reappearing 5 years later, looking exactly the same and all of this. And there's one blog I was reading where it's like, we don't know, there's no real proof of this. There's these stories that people have told for generations. Same thing like with the shepherd disappearing and how it got its name. Um, and I mean, with the UFO thing, like, we don't know. Like I said, like, people try to disprove the UFO by saying it's a weather balloon. There's no weather balloons in the sky that day. It's this. There's nothing to prove it's, and then the guy had really, what was his motive for doing it? If he wanted to fake a UFO photo, why would he fake it knowing he could lose his job? There's a lot that there's a lot that we're hearing. A lot of it could be hearsay. Like, some of it could be, mass hysteria. It could actually be aliens. It could actually be supernatural. We just don't know. I mean, this episode's a mystery wrapped into a ghost story, kind of. What's going on the Hoia Baciu Forest? Why is it happening? We don't know. I mean, scientists have tried, like with the dead zone. Like I said, scientists have taken soil samples and tried to read the soil to see why trees aren't growing in the dead zone. They can't find anything. Why the trees are growing this way? This is the only place in the world where there's trees grow like that. Why are they doing that? Scientists don't know.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess it goes like back to the Bermuda Triangle. Like we know weird stuff has happened in that place, but we don't know the origin of why. So yeah, fair enough. I guess I'll say this one last thing before you go to the ChatGPT story. But hey, listeners, if you want to support our Patreon and share this podcast with other people, yeah, hey, maybe one day if we are able to really do something with this podcast, maybe me and Will book a flight and go out there and make some content for you guys of us actually in the Hoia Baciu Forest.
I know, right? Sorry.
Although I do have to ask, is this a place you would go to, Mr.?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had, like I said, I would definitely probably go here. Because it seems like from what because I like when I was doing my research and stuff, it seemed like people that have gone into the Hoia Baciu Forest, Like it seems like Romanians literally go in this forest and do like a day hike, and there's no problems. Like they act like there's nothing wrong, but a lot of people are like, "Would I go in this woods at night? Probably not." But you
Okay.
know what? When
Fair.
people say I'm not going to do that, me and Steven say we're going to do it. You know why? Views.
I was gonna say I think there's only maybe one or two places where we said, yeah, we're definitely never going there.
Yeah.
But okay, this one is in the
This
range.
is one I would be fine with. Um, I would be fine with it. I would say we'd be careful.
Sure, yeah, no,
Like,
definitely.
because there's, like I said, there's places that I think Steven and I like. We'll probably talk about this towards the end of the podcast after we give our true thoughts about the Hoia Baciu Forest after the ChatGPT story. But I feel like me and Steven are going to create a blacklist of places that me and him will never go to, and it's because we're not stupid. We're
Yep,
brave, but we're not dumb.
yep. And especially for Will, he has a wife and a son, and it's like he wants to do cool stuff, but he also wants to be there for his wife and
Mhm.
son. So
Yeah. Now, if I was single and didn't have a kid, hell yeah, we'd go jump the Bermuda Triangle.
there you go. That's Will's way of saying he's gonna throw me into the Bermuda Triangle one day. No, I'm just kidding.
If Steven never gets married, we're going to send him solo.
There we go. I
Him and Haley, because,
so
well, Haley, I feel like we could send our editor in. It'd be fine.
yeah,
She's
she
just got a boyfriend. She's got no
well,
commitments.
she does have a boyfriend now, so
Yeah, but that's not like engagement or marriage, so I'm sure he'll be fine if she just disappears into the Bermuda Triangle.
fair enough. She's gonna be editing this episode, and she's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Oh man, I would make a joke, but I'm not going to do that. Well, actually, you know
sign,
what? We don't even need
sign
her
up for.
for. We don't even need her for the joke I was going to make
I
because
was
we
gonna
could
say,
just
sign up
do it
for
with
sign up
Steven.
for our Patreon to see that joke.
Yep. No, I was just going to say, like, with some of these places, it's a great thing that Steven's not married and single, because if we need to sacrifice a virgin, I'm just
There we
saying.
go. It's me and my Baja Blast against the world.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So,
not. I'm not sleeping with my Baja Blast. That might have come out wrong. Golly.
oh boy.
But anyway,
Before Steven incriminates himself anymore, we'll get into the ChatGPT story, and then we'll give our thoughts and comments. And let me tell you, because we've ChatGPT stories from me have been redone now because I've added it into the prompt to make it like a lot cooler. So this one is actually freaking terrifying. Like if this happened to us in the Hoia Baciu Forest,
oh man,
I'm gonna have a brown stain. Anyways, yeah, I grabbed that. Okay, so episode 2, the crooked trees of Hoia Baciu or Hoia Baciu. Some places God created, others He allows. Will. So I guess I got a quote at the beginning. We hadn't even gotten off the plane in Cluju, Nepakoa before Sahil started second guessing everything. This forest, he muttered, reading off his phone, causes hallucinations, nausea, missing time, and emotional shifts. Why are we going again? I chuckled because the listener sent us a message. So they lost a friend in there. Hiker named Andre disappeared 3 weeks ago. Cops gave up. Family wants answers. He sighed. This isn't a cryptid, Will. This sounds like something psychological. I looked out the window of the cab as we passed the edge of the forest. Gnarled trees twisted unnaturally, their trunks contorted like they were withering in pain. No, I said, this place is wrong. Hoia Baciu Forest. Locals won't walk into it, not even in daylight. They whisper about it in bars and chapels, like it's something that might hear its name. They say electronics fail inside. Forgot to mention that. That shadows move without light, that people disappear for hours and come back with no memory, that it feeds off you. Sahil and I set up camp just outside the clearing where nothing grows, a perfectly circular patch of dead earth in the center of the forest. Some believe it's where a woman vanished in front of a group of people in the 70s. Others say it's a gate. Me? I don't know what it is. But I've hunted beasts. I've faced monsters. This forest wasn't a beast. It was a mind. We started hiking at dusk, cameras rolling, audio gear on. Within 10 minutes, our GPS went dead. Phones too. The compass spun like a drunk ballerina. The trees twisted around us like they were circling. The air was thick, too thick, like breathing syrup. This isn't right, Sahil muttered. We're not walking in a straight line. We are, I insisted. Look at the marks. But the notches I carved into the trunks, gone. Half an hour later, we heard the first whisper. Not loud, just barely audible, like breath in your ear. Well, I froze. Did you hear that? Sahil nodded. Pale. It said your name. My blood ran cold. Then we heard something behind us. Footsteps, crunching leaves, but too slow, too deliberate. We turned. Nothing there. Sahil pulled out his Bible, started whispering psalms. The shadows pulsed around us. Then the lights started. They hovered, orb-like, glowing, drifting between the trees. Not fireflies, not lanterns. Cold, white light. Yeah, I forgot to mention people see orbs. I probably should have gone more into what we see, but people see orbs. Artificial, wrong. I reached for my camera. The screen fuzzed out. Static. Then it happened. Time broke. One moment we were in a grove. The next we were on a hill we'd never seen. The fire was cold. Our watches read 3:22 a.m. Last I checked, it was barely 10. Sahil stared at his hands. I don't remember walking here. I didn't either. But our boots were soaked, covered in mud. And that's when we saw the man. Or at least the shape of him. Standing at the edge of the tree line, bare-chested, tall, thin, staring. I raised my flashlight, and he was gone. We decided to head back. Whatever answers we came for, they weren't worth our minds. That's when Sahil screamed. I turned to find him staring at the clearing. Andre, the missing hiker, was standing in the center of the dead circle, wearing the same clothes his mother had shown us in photos. Pale, eyes empty. I stepped forward. Andre! He didn't move. Sahil grabbed my arm. No, Will. That's not him. I looked again. Andre was smiling, too wide. His mouth tore at the corners. Then he vanished like smoke. We sprinted. Branches lashed at us. The forest pulsed with noise, laughing, sobbing, screaming. None of it ours. I think the forest wanted us to run. It fed off the fear. We stumbled out onto the road just before dawn, collapsed in the gravel, heaving. I looked back. The forest watched. 2 days later, we checked the footage. Most of it was corrupted. But we found one clip. Just one. It showed us standing in the clearing, unmoving for nearly 3 hours. We don't remember that. And in the final frame, behind us, just visible between two trees, a face. Not human, not beast. Just there. Beyond the Campfire, Episode 2, The Crooked Trees of Hoia Baciu. We told the story. Some said we faked it. Others said it was mass hysteria. But I remember how the forest felt. Like stepping into a womb in the world. And I remember the whisper. Well, some things don't want to be seen. Others want to be seen too badly. And Hoia Baciu, it remembers. The end.
Dude, that was terrifying. Just the smiling, the disappearance, the whispering, all of it.
I know it was just man, but that's Hoia Baciu. Yeah. So there, I kind of skimmed through my notes when I was going over what people see, but people do see orbs floating in the trees, the loss of time, the eyes, like I said, the whispering. People can hear women giggling sometimes in the woods. There's just this force just freaks me out, man. It's like one thing like with the ocean, like everybody has that fear of the ocean because the ocean's bottomless. But it's like here in the Hoia Baciu Forest, imagine my woods, like the woods around my house. Imagine me, you in those woods, and you just hear someone whispering your name. And then you see what you think is fireflies, but they're white and they're artificial looking, and there's just these lights bouncing in the woods, or you see eyes staring at you through the trees. It's I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I do think that the UFO story has a lot more credibility than some. Um, but I mean, what do you think? Do you believe in the Hoia Baciu Forest?
It kind of seems to me there's two things going on. It seems to be there's a spiritual presence there, and there also seems to be an alien presence there. Now, the spiritual one, based off everything you described, based everything that was explained, I tend to actually probably believe that, yeah, something spiritual is going on there. The UFO thing, there's one report of it. The circumstances you described make me think they saw something.
Mm-hmm.
It does make me wonder though if there's other things that could possibly be seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if I had to give a short answer, spiritually, yeah, there's something demonic going on there. Aliens, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I think we yeah, I think we definitely go in the woods. I think there could be I definitely think something supernatural is going on. Extraterrestrial wise, I probably would lean more saying yes than probably you would. I'm not going to say no to the extraterrestrials, but I'm not going to completely say yes. I do think it is very strange, this photo. Now, apparently, there were reports that there's a guy before him in the 50s that saw something too. And people might have seen some UFOs, but his is the most credited story. And just hearing the guy's story, like that's the reason why I would lean more also to saying yes to the aliens and the supernatural than just saying supernatural is because of the way the guy's story is. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, could there truly be something in the woods?
Seems like it, man. Yeah, I'm very interested in that clearing, and I mean, it's one of those things if he did go into his woods, that like we definitely need to get there and see what's going on. You know.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be a really fun episode to kind of go to there, and the cool thing is, if we go there, we can probably knock out like 3 episodes.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
we can go to Vlad's castle, and we can go to the forest, and I don't know what else there would be.
Okay. We'd figure it out. So,
Yeah.
that's all my thoughts. I don't know if you had anything else left.
No, I don't have anything else to think about. Yeah. How
Cool.
about you, Forest?
Hoia Baciu Forest. So there you guys go. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, be sure to give us a follow and share the podcast. Because, yeah, that really does help us out. So sharing it with friends, telling family members about it, that's how we grow. That's how we get viewers out. That's how we are able to continue doing this. So cool. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you next time.
And yeah, don't get lost in the woods.